Are you? I'm,
Yeah.
like, feeling a little sick. Oh,
No,
we're live.
we're live.
We're live, yay.
It's go time.
Yes.
So it's a Friday episode, which
Mhm.
is always nice because we can do this and then, we could talk about restaurants and then head right to a restaurant
Yeah,
afterwards and do a happy hour. So,
that's what Fridays are for, right?
right? Maybe we should always do it on Fridays and then go right to happy hour
I kinda
afterwards. I
like
feel like,
that.
yeah,
Yeah. Just kind of, like, easing us in to the weekend, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So the topic today is a very interesting one, something
Mhm.
that, Jenny, you have done a lot of research on.
Yes.
And we're talking about the four menu types that guide the dining experience.
Yes.
And it's interesting because, the chef makes the food and has the different dishes, but the way you serve them and in what capacity and for what purpose really drives the dining experience. Are you on a first date? Are you with your entire family? Are you just trying different things out? Are you stopping somewhere before the theater? Are you having a big night out? So it's really cool to really dive into each menu style and then also talk about how it drives the dining experience.
Yes.
So if you want to, Jenny, go ahead and,
Sure.
and start with what
Yeah.
are the four menu types?
Well, I'd like to start by saying that this is a fun topic.
Sorry, of course.
Because it sheds some light on how we make certain decisions about why and where and even how we dine out without even realizing the origin of influence, which is always, I love that, the art of persuasion, which is actually where I got a lot of this information from. um, I will give credit to the author, Alison Perlman, from the book Maybe Suggest Restaurant Menus and the Art of Persuasion. It's super informative if you're menu nerds like we are. Kind of gives you a background on really why restaurants make certain decisions about not only the menus that they provide, but the type of the overall business model and um, you know certain decisions like based on the customer experience, the chef, and everything that goes on inside of the restaurant. So,
Yeah, I think that's where it gets interesting is what
mhm,
kind of experience do you want to provide, which is directly connected to the food, but the way you serve the food is, definitely going to drive that dining experience.
right, right, and the goal of every restaurant is um, to provide a place for people to come and be social and be happy together, and provide a very amicable environment, because the better and the more comfortable people are in a place and with their friends and family, the smoother their operations go in a restaurant, right? So I guess that can lead us on to what are the different types of fundamental menu strategies that restaurants offer in
This is
there.
a fun topic.
So
I can't
fun,
wait.
so fun. So the four that I did my research on, is family style is one, shared plates menu, the sequential menu, and the flexible menu. So whenever you go out to eat, you're sure to encounter one or a hybrid of these menus. Um, and they each use a unique set of rhetorical tools to create a scene of sociability that suits the restaurateur. So we will go ahead and start with family style. It's also known as large format dining.
Can I
And
can I guess?
yes, you can guess.
I'm picturing like Game of Thrones
Mm.
feast. Like they bring
Okay.
out the giant pig and then they just put it out on the center of the table, and there's like 150 people and they're guzzling wine out of bull horns and stuff.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I'm
it's pretty
thinking.
accurate. Yeah. Maybe, bring it up to the 21st century. Similar style. I'm sure there's some places that absolutely offer that type of dining experience. But as we would maybe more traditionally know, like it could be Italian. A lot of Italian places offer the family style dining or Korean barbecue. Chinese restaurants are also a very popular form of, that you orders. We've all ordered from Chinese restaurants. We know their mode. Um, So
So are these large portions meant to be shared? Like what's the environment look like? You know, if you're ordering this family style, like what does that scene look like?
yeah, so one of the first things that is a very common feature when you walk into a family style dining place is, um, there will be more of a communal type of seating arrangement set up, whether it's like picnic benches or just large tables that kind of encourage that larger group to sit around and share. Um, there's also um, there's also a large plate, empty plate in every person's table setting traditionally in these types of places, and it's different than the smaller charger plate that you would get, at a restaurant that you would have for bread or for small appetizers and stuff. This is like a full empty plate, and that's basically implies that you shouldn't expect a dish to come out of the kitchen already composed just for you. So that means that you're going to have big dishes put in the center of the table with some serving spoons, and you're going to be able to serve yourself on this large plate that you have in front of you. So that's one hint that kind of gives that away. Um, and another essential, and because we're the menu people, I have to get into this a little bit. Another big factor when you're going to a family style menu dining place is the way that the menu is structured. So there's less instruction coming from the servers. The menu is traditionally broken up by food type rather than course. So you'll see maybe vegetables, pasta, chicken, fish, seafood will all be kind of separate. So that's encouraging the diner to choose from different sections of the menu to try multiple things. Um, so it definitely incentivizes larger parties. The larger the group, variety dishes that everybody can enjoy. Um, and it also it also provides a longer table turnover because people are sitting there longer. There's a bigger group. Obviously, it takes more time for people to finish dining. But because it's a larger group, they're ordering more food. Um, it's the higher check mitigates that slower table turn.
Yeah, yeah, it'll definitely be a higher ticket, you'd think, because these large plates are going to cost more money, but also there's like a perceived value there, I think,
Mhm.
where like I know like I used to go out with my mom a lot, and she would love the large plates because you're getting another meal out of it, afterwards. So
Yeah,
people are they're banking on that. So let's get the chicken scarpiello, let's get the Brussels sprout, let's get a bunch of different things. We're not going to eat all of it, but we could all really like feast, and then we have stuff to take over for lunch tomorrow.
right, exactly. Yeah, so it's not just for the larger parties. You can get smaller parties in there too, and then pretty much still make out like a bandit as a
Yeah.
restaurant.
No, it's cool. It's
Yeah.
definitely like a certain type of experience that someone's looking for.
Hmm.
Like I know Italian restaurants specifically around here that's what they do, and they're known for that, and you're going to go there specifically for that, even if it's just four people,
Right.
because it's delicious, and there's a lot. You can really really feast.
Right. Yeah, and the atemporal structure of the family style menu helps the restaurant on the operational front. Not having to time the courses gives the kitchen more flexibility, and they don't need an expediter to sync up the pace of the kitchen with that of the diners. So everything kind of comes out of the kitchen onto the table whenever it's ready, and usually the customers are okay with that. It's what they signed up for.
Hmm.
So um, so that's family style, and those are like the larger portions, the larger groups. How is that different than the shared plate style, which by the name sounds like a very similar, type of structure. Um,
So this is
so
menu style number two,
yes,
right?
menu style number two is the shared
Shared
plates.
shared plates.
Hmm. So it is similar to family style dining in a lot of key ways, like how the menu is usually organized by food type, and the fact that it urges us to share a variety of dishes in no fixed order. Um, but what makes it different is that above all, the originality of the chef and the director of the beverage program really get to shine here. So not only is the focus on the food, but there's a lot of time the focus is on these craft cocktails that the bar manager puts together, and it's more of that type of high upscale experience. Smaller portions means that you're ordering more plates for the table. So you can actually, this is an experience that you can do in a larger group. You can also do in a smaller, more intimate group, but you still get to kind of choose a bunch of different things from the menu and try different style cuisine and things like that in a similar fashion as the family style dining.
Yeah, that's cool. I think because also you get the opportunity to try multiple different things. You don't go there and order one dish. Even if something's not good and you didn't like it, it's still fun, like part of the
Yeah.
experience. Maybe somebody else did like it and now you're having a conversation, or you're trying to figure out what is inside that specific dish.
Hmm.
This is the one that I'm definitely going to come back and get again. This is the one that I would never order again. So it creates a, much like family style, it creates a conversation starter
Hmm.
that makes the dining experience more collaborative and dynamic.
Right, right. Yeah, and this is actually one of my favorite ways to dine. I love little bites. And it's actually the association of the shared plate style began in the mid 1980s. They were actually a spin-off of the Spanish tapas or bar snacks craze that came about during that time, which I think is it's interesting. Still very, very popular now. But you'll see it, shared plates are usually incorporated also in other styles of menu, such as the flexible menu, which we'll get into a little bit later. Um, but something else that's different about the shared style and the family style is that servers actually have a much bigger role here than they do in the traditional family style. Not only in the beginning when people are ready to order and maybe have questions, like as I said before, this is kind of uh, the type of model where the chef gets to explore different, creative culinary dishes and, kind of mix, ignore the boundaries of ethnic traditions when it comes to whatever they produce in the kitchen. So a lot of the time, the servers will have to kind of be a little bit more forthcoming with what the dishes are, because some of them might not be something that we're so used to seeing on a menu. So helping with guide the initial ordering process, telling them like, what, maybe get 3 of those, that should fill you up, or like, I wouldn't just get that, there's only one serving per person there, so maybe get that plus the little salad over here and then like some tacos or something, like, so they're a lot more helpful in the ordering phase. Also, as the dining is happening and the plates are coming out, the server, because it's a little bit more of like a refined setting and upscale, um, you know, servers will come and more frequently take empty plates away and refresh them with clean plates. As the stuff starts coming out of the kitchen, just to keep everything clean and keep everything moving along. And also, obviously, like cocktails are running low, you got to come and check and make sure everybody's, their thirst is quenched throughout the meal. So that's important too.
And I think it's more like entertainment
Hmm.
as opposed to food service. Obviously people are eating and they're having food, but when they come out with these different small plates and you don't even know what they are necessarily by looking at them. So it's like you got to ask the waiter or the waitress, and they'll say, well, this is what this is, or you go back to the menu, or you're almost trying things. You're a little bit more adventurous,
Hmm.
which I think is fun. And it becomes more of an entertainment type of atmosphere where you're being entertained by the food as opposed to just going and getting a cheeseburger and because you're hungry and you want to watch the game. The
Right.
food is actually the main event in this scenario,
Yeah.
whereas in other scenarios, not so much.
Right. Right. And this type of dining also kind of allows the customer to sit and stay a while, which restaurants don't typically like when you're sitting there for 3 hours. But because the bar plays such a big role a lot of the time in um, this type of dining experience, that also the provides higher tips, and it makes it more worth that extra work that the staff is going to, by producing more out of the kitchen and running back and forth, the servers clearing plates and bringing things out and things like that. So
And personally, when I go to a restaurant like that, I'm prepared to pay a little bit more. I
mhm.
know that the quantity is not really the name of the game. I might only get 1 or 2 bites of something that's totally different than I've ever had, but that becomes how I define success. Whereas family style, I'm like, oh, I want to make sure that chicken parm is enough to feed me for weeks. It's just a different mindset, you know.
Right.
So it's more of an experience.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so another type of experiential dining,
Third type.
third type number three, is the sequential menu. Uh, so in this model, the sequential menu doesn't care whether or not we share the food. However, it is keen to decide how we share time. It is a little bit more temporal, so there are timed courses that come out. The division of foods by appetizer, main course, dessert, or antipasti, primi, secondi, dolci in certain places. Um, the sequential menu recommends that we dine in progression. So, it kind of implies that if your dining partner is skipping a course, um, it could provide an awkward scenario where one of us is eating and the other one's not. So it kind of urges us to order in sync with each other and multiple courses with each other. Um, so within this structure of the sequential menu, there are also like subcategories, of specific types of menus that you may see in a dining establishment. So one is a tasting menu, which not many of us have experienced. It's kind of unusual. It's basically where the chef dictates the entirety of the diner's experience, from the dishes served, the number of courses, the length of seating. The customer doesn't really have much of a choice to participate, um, but they charge a premium because of the it's usually a renowned chef or someone that like they're able to do that because of the accolades or the popularity of the given chef in the kitchen. Um, so these are more that's more of like an upscale high fine high end dining,
So
menu.
this might be my favorite one because I'm an only child and I I get my meal and it's my meal and I don't have to share it. As
Mhm.
much as it's interactive and it's fun, I kind of like having my meal. You
Yeah.
know, you get your meal and I get my meal. Like I hate when people want to share with me and it's not, I'm like, what? You don't understand the 4 menu types that guide the dining experience? What's going on here? I don't want to give you half my burger. So as an only child,
Yeah.
I say that the sequential menu is probably my favorite one.
Mm,
Unless I'm doing family style and
yeah.
it's a little problematic, I can get through it, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, we haven't gotten to the flexible menu yet. That might be your favorite.
we'll see. I
We'll
don't know.
see. Yeah. So that's the tasting menu. We probably won't encounter that too many times. It's not as popular. Um, but the price fix type of menu is also sequential, and that's those are like the one price, but you get a couple options of each course, that you have to pick from. But and they're served in order. So you have the appetizer list of maybe 5 or 6 options, and then the entree, another list of a variety of options, and then a dessert, or maybe a pasta course somewhere in there. Um, so that one's a little bit more cut and dry. The customer does have a little bit more of an engagement and experience with how they're dining there, but it's timed. It's not as kind of free spirited as the shared plates and the family style dining. Um, And then all other sequential menus, where the courses are a little bit more optional, are designed to do a little bit of persuading in itself in themselves. So maybe you'll see on the physical menu, like there's the same level of hierarchy between the appetizers and the entrees, because and then the server will come over and give you recommendations equally for both categories, kind of encouraging you to order one from each category. Don't skip the appetizer. Get the appetizer, get the salad, get the entree. Um, so it's they're also, they play a very prominent role as well, the server, along with the menu in that way. Um, any
Well, now
thoughts?
I just can't stop thinking about the flexible menu because
Yeah.
that might be my favorite one. Sounds like I have a few different options here with the flexible menu.
And that's exactly the point. So we're ready. Moving on to the flexible.
I'm as ready as I'll ever be, I think.
So not all of us that go out to eat want to have the same series of courses as our eating companions, nor do we want to share the same food as you just allocated to. So the flexible menu kind of allows us all to eat independently of each other. So I could order an appetizer and a soup if I want. I can get a beer. You can get a filet mignon if you want, and a glass of wine, and that's it. We can both get those things delivered to us at the same time, and it's not weird. That's kind of like the idea. So most restaurants, I think, now have their menu structured this way. This is anywhere from the casual dining experience or casual chain dining experience of like the TGI Fridays and Applebee's of the world to like a gastro pub up the block, or the bar and grill around the corner. Like this is a very popular menu choice, because it's designed to sell to the most broadest of demographic.
Yeah. I think it's a safe place. Like there's something for everyone.
Hmm.
So if somebody's gluten free, they don't want 16 pounds of pasta at the family style place, or they have a lot of allergies, so they don't know what's inside the tapas. So this type of menu concept allows people to get just the salad, but this person likes the wings and this person likes this, and so it's any combination of people can go there, and there's something for everybody.
Right.
And I think that's interesting too, because you think about like why would people go out? Family style, they're maybe celebrating something. It's sort of an occasion. Tapas is like an experience, is like entertaining. Flexible is like maybe there's a group of colleagues from work that maybe don't know each other that well. There's 8 of them,
Hmm.
but our boss told us to go out and get to know each other, right? So we're not going to get family style. Like, what if this person doesn't like clam sauce? So it makes it a little bit more flexible,
Hmm.
so that they can get whatever they want, cheese quesadillas, whatever it might be.
Right. And they're also uniquely positioned to take advantage of those impulse decisions to dine out, which happens a lot. You know what? It's 4 o'clock. I don't feel like cooking. Let's go. Let's go up to Fridays, or let's go up to whatever bar and grill and grab some food. So there's not you can do that, and a lot of people do dine that way too, and decide to go to a restaurant on a whim. So it allows them to not have to really plan so much in advance. To basically walk in and get a table without a reservation is another thing. Um, and Yeah, so this is the most popular kind of menu, and probably another one of my favorite kinds of menus. But you'll also see some shared plates on this menu as well, because it could basically have everything from the other 3 prior menus on it, but in just a very informal setting, an
Yeah.
informal structure of the way that
I think it depends on the occasion. It
Mhm.
depends on what you're going out for. Like a couple of people are just, have a couple of free hours and they want to go watch the game. You don't want a flexible type of menu. But
Yeah,
if, you're double dating with another couple, maybe you want to do tapas because everyone's trying to get to know each other.
yeah.
Uh,
Try different things. I mean, you learn a lot about other people when you find out the type of cuisine that they like, that they're into.
True. So
So
the question is your favorite one.
my
Got to pick
favorite
one. You can't pick more than one. You can't be flexible. You got to
one.
pick, you got to pick one.
Well, I'd have to choose flexible because it may include everything from the other menu.
Undermined.
Yeah. Except if I had to choose one that wasn't flexible though, I think I'd go with the shared plates.
I think as an only child, I would do family style by myself.
Have leftovers, not only as an only child, but as someone who doesn't cook for themselves regularly.
That's
Those
right.
leftovers come in very handy.
You could say that I'm constantly doing market research on restaurants. I take it so seriously. That's why I don't cook.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. We'll go with that.
Family style table for one. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. I don't know. They might put you with another family though. You know, I don't know
Uh,
if they'd want to waste a giant table for one guy.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I'll have to
So
talk to them and see if I can get them to make an exception.
okay. All right.
So that's it for this episode. I'm going out after this to get some food. I don't know what kind of concept I'm going to get.
Yeah. We'll have to see.
Probably
We'll have to
flexible.
reconvene on our next.
Yeah, I'll let everyone know where I ended up.
I'm sure everybody cares.
They will when I tell them where I ended up.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see.
All right.
Oh,
Till next
all right.
time.
Yes. Be well.